person feels for you is not mild. It is not casual. It is not the kind of attraction that stays polite, distant, and easy to manage. This feels like desire that keeps returning, desire that interrupts their thoughts, desire that follows your name, your image, your energy, long after the moment is over. And the reason this reading feels so intense from the very beginning is because the cards are showing someone who is trying to hold themselves together on the outside, while their body, their mind, and their emotions keep pulling toward you. The first card appearing here is the Devil. Here it speaks of magnetic temptation. A pull that feels difficult to ignore, the kind of attraction that makes someone feel hooked, even when they try to stay composed. This person may think about you at unexpected times. They may replay your presence, the way you move, the way you look. The Devil says this is not a light attraction. It is consuming, persistent, hard to switch off. The next card appearing here is the Queen of Wands. This is one of the strongest cards for sensual presence. It says part of what makes this person crave you is not only physical beauty, it is the way you carry yourself. The confidence in your energy, the warmth, the mystery, and that kind of presence can be unforgettable. The Queen of Wands is the person someone keeps picturing later, the person whose energy lingers in the body, the person who makes attraction feel alive. So when this person thinks about you, it may not be abstract at all. It may feel vivid, immediate, almost physical in the way it lands inside them. The next card appearing here is the Knight of Wands. Now the fire gets stronger because the Knight of Wands is restless attraction, the urge to move closer, the desire to close distance. The feeling of wanting more than fantasy, wanting contact, chemistry, and the chance to see whether what burns in private would feel just as strong in real life. This person may have moments where they want to reach out suddenly, say something bolder than usual, create tension, create a spark, because longing like this rarely stays still for long. The next card appearing here is the Moon. This card says a lot of what they feel may still be hidden. They may not say everything. They may not show how affected they are. They may act normal while privately feeling much more than they let on. But the Moon makes private desire grow louder, because what is not expressed often becomes stronger in imagination, more vivid, more emotionally charged. So if this person has been holding back, that does not mean the attraction is weak. It may mean the wanting has been living in silence and becoming harder to resist there. The next card appearing here is the Page of Swords. This tells me their attention is active, watching, noticing, picking up details, remembering small things. They may notice what you wear. Notice your body language, notice your voice, and that kind of attention is intimate in its own way. Because when someone is this attracted, they do not only look, they study. They remember. The next card appearing here is the Lovers, and this matters because it tells me the attraction is not empty. Yes, there is strong desire here. Yes, there is craving. But underneath it, there is also genuine pull, a bond, a feeling that you matter in a way that intensifies everything else. That is why this does not read like shallow lust. It reads like chemistry with emotional electricity behind it. The final card appearing here is the Ace of Wands, and this is the spark that wants expression. The Ace of Wands says the attraction is alive, hungry, ready to move. So the message of this reading is very clear. This person is craving you badly, not only in passing thoughts, not only in a playful way. They feel pulled toward your energy in a way that keeps returning and keeps asking for more. And what may be making it even harder for them to resist is that your presence does not feel generic to them. It feels charged. It feels personal. It feels like something their body notices before their mind can calm it down. There is one more layer here too. Part of what makes this attraction so powerful is anticipation. The what if, the imagined closeness. The tension of not fully knowing how much of this pull exists on both sides. Anticipation can make desire sharper, more constant, more difficult to quiet. That is why the cards feel so heated. Because this is not only someone appreciating you from afar, this is someone whose attraction keeps circling back, asking for contact, asking for movement, asking for some kind of opening. And whether they are ready to admit it openly or not, the pull is very real, it is strong, it is persistent, and it is not fading. Something even more charged is rising here, and this part of the reading feels like the moment where attraction stops being a simple feeling and starts becoming a constant presence in their thoughts. Because what the cards are showing now is not a passing spark, it is lingering. The first card appearing here is the Eight of Swords. This card says they may be trapped in the thought of you more than they want to admit, not because they are weak, but because desire can become mentally loud when it is denied, delayed, or left unresolved. They may try to focus elsewhere and still find their mind drifting back to you, back to your face, back to your energy, back to the moments where the tension between you felt alive enough to remember later. The Eight of Swords says attraction has become repetitive in them, not casual repetitive. The next card appearing here is the Queen of Cups. Now the reading softens, and that matters, because this card says the craving is not cold, it is not detached. They may feel emotionally pulled in by you as much as they feel physically pulled in. Your energy may feel soothing to them, magnetic in a gentle way, the kind of presence that lowers their guard. That combination can be incredibly hard to resist, because once someone wants your body and also feels softened by your spirit, the attraction deepens fast. The next card appearing here is the Ace of Wands, and this is the ignition, the spark, the rush, the surge of wanting that does not ask permission before it shows up. This person may feel sudden waves of desire around you, a single thought, and it starts a memory, and it starts a picture, a scent, a mood, and suddenly the body remembers. The Ace of Wands says the attraction may be immediate in them. Fast, warm, alive. Not something they have to force. The next card appearing here is the Four of Pentacles. This is interesting because it says they may be trying to keep all of this under control, holding it in, tightening around it, acting more composed than they really feel. The Four of Pentacles often shows someone gripping emotion because they do not want to lose control of how much they want something or someone, so on the outside they may look steadier than they really are, but on the inside the craving may be building. The next card appearing here is the Page of Swords. This card says they notice everything, your expressions, your tone, the way you move, the way your energy changes in different moods. And when attraction is already strong, observation becomes more intimate. They may remember details later. The Page of Swords is someone whose attention keeps returning, so even small things about you may stay with them longer than you would expect. The next card appearing here is the Moon. Now we see the hidden side of all of this. The private longing, the late night imagining, the side of desire that becomes stronger when it is not openly expressed. The Moon says they may not say how deeply you affect them, but in private the feeling may be far more consuming than anyone would guess. This person may have fantasies they do not speak, longings they do not confess. Moments where your energy becomes almost impossible to push aside. The final card appearing here is the Knight of Wands, and this is where the whole reading catches fire, because the Knight of Wands does not like staying only in imagination forever. He wants movement, contact, heat. He wants to get closer to the source of what he feels. So if this person has been holding themselves back, that restraint may not last the way they hoped it would. The urge to act may be growing, the urge to say something, to flirt more boldly, to create a moment that lets the chemistry come out into the open. So the message of this part becomes very clear. They are not only attracted, they are physically aware of you in a way that keeps returning. Mentally preoccupied with you in a way that keeps repeating. Emotionally softened by you in a way that makes the attraction even harder to resist. There is one more layer here too. Part of what may be making this so intense is that they may feel there is unfinished tension between you, something not fully explored, something not fully released. An unfinished attraction has a way of staying alive in the body. It keeps asking questions, it keeps replaying possibilities, it keeps wondering what the real chemistry would feel like if the distance dropped and the moment became honest. That is why this energy does not look temporary. It looks like desire mixed with focus, craving mixed with curiosity, heat mixed with emotional pull. And when all of that gathers in one person at once, resisting becomes much harder than they expected, much harder than they are showing. Even now, they feel it deeply. And it feels like the attraction is no longer staying in the background of their life. It is entering the body, the thoughts, the imagination, the quiet moments where a person tries to act composed and realizes they are anything but composed inside. The first card appearing here is the Lovers. This card says the desire is not disconnected from the heart. That matters because sometimes attraction stays physical only, but here the cards show chemistry mixed with real emotional pull. They may not only want your body, they may want the closeness, the eye contact, the feeling of being fully in your energy. That is why the attraction keeps deepening instead of fading. There is emotional meaning feeding the fire. The next card appearing here is the Nine of Wands. This card tells me they are trying to contain themselves, trying to stay collected, trying not to let every thought about you show on their face or in their actions. But the Nine of Wands is not calm. It is controlled tension. It is someone holding the line while desire keeps pressing against it. So if they seem guarded, that does not mean the attraction is weak. It may mean they are using a lot of effort not to reveal how strong it really is. The next card appearing here is the Seven of Cups. Now the imagination becomes impossible to ignore. They may picture you in different settings, different moods, different levels of closeness. They may replay moments and let their mind keep going far beyond what actually happened. This is fantasy energy, but not empty fantasy. It is charged with wanting, curiosity, sensuality. They may be imagining how it would feel to finally be close enough that all the tension stops living in their mind and starts becoming real. The next card appearing here is the Queen of Wands. This card says, your magnetism is part of what makes this so hard to resist. It is not only your appearance, it is your energy, the way you hold yourself, the way you can seem warm and untouchable at the same time, the way your presence may light something up in them before a word is even spoken. The Queen of Wands does not need to chase attention. She creates it naturally. And that natural pull may be exactly what this person keeps feeling every time your energy comes near. The next card appearing here is the Devil. Now the reading becomes even more intense because the Devil confirms fixation again. They may crave you in a way that feels difficult to switch off. You may enter their thoughts suddenly, vividly, physically. They may try to redirect their mind and find it coming back to you anyway. The Devil here is not casual lust. It is that strong pull that keeps asking for more closeness, more access, more of you. And because it has not fully had what it wants yet, it may be growing sharper instead of softer. The next card appearing here is the Page of Wands. This tells me the urge to test the chemistry may be growing, flirt, tease, push the conversation a little closer to the edge. The Page of Wands is curious 5. It wants to know whether the spark is one-sided or whether it will ignite if given one real opening. So this person may be wanting to create a moment, a bold message, a playful line, a charged interaction that lets them see what happens when your energy meets theirs without so much restraint in the middle. The final card appearing here is the Ace of Cups. And this is what softens the whole reading in a beautiful way, because underneath the heat there is still feeling, still openness, still a part of them that wants this attraction to mean something real. The Ace of Cups says the craving is not empty, it is tied to genuine emotional movement in the heart. That is why it may feel so strong to them, because they are not only wanting your body, they are wanting the experience of closeness with you and all the emotion that might come with it. So the message of this part becomes very clear: they are craving you badly, not in a shallow way. Not in a passing way. This is attraction that lives in the imagination, in the body, in the emotions, and in the private moments where your energy keeps returning without permission. There is one more layer here too. Part of what may be intensifying everything is anticipation. The not yet, the almost the unanswered tension between fantasy and reality. Anticipation can make desire feel louder, hotter, and much harder to quiet. And the cards suggest this person may be living right in that space now, feeling you, imagining you, wanting you, and trying not to let it consume them completely. But the truth is, it already might be, and even if they hide it well, their body may still tell the truth before words do. One look, one pause, one charged silence, and the attraction gives itself away. This part of the reading feels like the moment where desire stops pretending it can stay quiet, because what the cards are showing now is not only attraction that flickers and fades, it is attraction that keeps building each time they try to contain it. The more they hold back, the more the wanting seems to gather force inside them. The first card appearing here is the King of Wands. This card says they are feeling a bold physical pull towards you. The King of Wands does not sit comfortably in longing forever. He wants to move closer. He wants contact. He wants to know what happens when attraction stops living only in the imagination and starts entering the real world. So this person may be feeling a stronger urge now to act differently around you, to be more obvious, more daring, more direct than they were before. The next card appearing here is the Four of Wands. Now the reading becomes even more interesting because this card says the craving is not only about heat, it is also about wanting to share space with you, to be near you, to feel the energy in real time instead of only replaying it later. The Four of Wands is the card of physical closeness, celebration, and a desire to stand in the same emotional atmosphere. So this person may be craving not only your body, but the joy, the spark, and the warmth that your presence creates around them. The next card appearing here is the Knight of Swords. This brings urgency, impulsive thoughts, sudden wanting, the kind of moment where a person feels like they might say something quickly or reach out faster than they planned because the tension is getting hard to manage. The Knight of Swords says the attraction may now be creating impatience in them. They may be tired of only thinking, tired of only imagining, tired of the space between desire and action. That frustration can make the energy feel even more intense. The next card appearing here is the Moon. This confirms again that much of this is still private. On the outside, they may act more controlled than they really are, but the Moon says the private world is full, fantasies, curiosity, emotional restlessness. They may think about what you are like in hidden moments, in softer moments, in more vulnerable moments. And the more the imagination fills the gaps, the more the attraction can grow. The next card appearing here is the Queen of Cups. This is important because it softens the message in a very real way. It says the craving is not purely physical. Your energy may also make them feel emotionally drawn in, safe in some strange way, softened, moved, and when physical attraction mixes with emotional tenderness, it becomes much harder to resist because the person is not only wanting pleasure, they are wanting connection through closeness. The next card appearing here is the Ace of Wands, and this is the card of ignition again. The body saying yes, the spark becoming strong enough that it wants expression. This person may be feeling stronger waves of desire around you now, or stronger urges to create a charged interaction that lets the chemistry reveal itself more openly. The final card appearing here is the Devil, and this confirms everything. The craving is real, the attraction is strong, the wanting is not fading. If anything, the cards suggest the hunger is becoming more focused, more personal, more difficult for them to shake. Because now it may not only be about how you look, it may be about how you feel in their system, the effect you leave, the tension you create, the way your energy lingers after contact ends. So the message of this part becomes very clear. They are craving you badly, in body, in imagination, in impulse. In that restless place where desire becomes almost impossible to ignore. There is one more layer here too. Part of what may be making this attraction so overwhelming is the sense that there is still something unfinished between you, a tension that has not fully had its moment, a closeness that has not fully happened. And unfinished chemistry can become incredibly loud in a person. It keeps asking for more. It keeps pressing for resolution. It keeps turning one glance into a whole storm of wanting. That is the energy here, not cold attraction, not small attraction. A living, building, body level pull that may be getting harder for them to keep hidden with every passing moment. Now, and even if they say very little, the body may already be speaking for them. The longer look, the charged pause, the sudden shift in tone, the way their attention catches on you and does not move easily. Attraction this strong leaks through somehow. And the cards say it may already be showing more than they realize, especially when your energy is close enough to stir everything again. Very clearly now. Something even more consuming moves through this part of the reading, and it feels like the attraction is no longer only visiting them in flashes. It is staying, it is settling into the body, into the imagination, into the quiet spaces where a person tries to act normal and realizes they are thinking of you again. The first card appearing here is the Nine of Swords. This card says the desire may be keeping them mentally restless late thoughts. Replayed moments, the kind of tension that returns when the room gets quiet and there is nothing left to distract them from what they are feeling. They may try to calm themselves, to redirect, to focus on something else, and still find the mind circling back toward you. That matters. Because the Nine of Swords says the attraction is not only strong, it is intrusive. The next card appearing here is the Queen of Wands. This card confirms again that your magnetism is part of what makes this so difficult for them to resist. There may be something about your energy that feels naturally sensual, the way you carry yourself, the confidence in your body, the warmth in your presence, the fact that you do not seem to try too hard and still leave an impression that lingers. The Queen of Wands is unforgettable attraction, and unforgettable attraction does not leave the mind easily. The next card appearing here is the Knight of Wands. Now the desire becomes more impatient. This card says they may be wanting movement. Not only fantasy, not only memory movement. They may crave flirtation, closeness. A charged moment that lets the tension stop living only in the imagination. The Knight of Wands is the part of them that wants to cross the distance and feel what this chemistry becomes when it is allowed to breathe. So if they seem more restless around you, more sudden, more intense, this card explains why. The next card appearing here is the Seven of Cups. This card shows fantasy getting louder, different possibilities, different scenes, different ways their mind tries to fill in what reality has not yet given. The Seven of Cups says they may imagine you often, not only once in a while, but in waves. And because the chemistry already feels personal, those fantasies may carry emotional electricity, not just physical curiosity. That is why the craving feels so strong. It is not flat, it is vivid. The next card appearing here is the High Priestess. This says much of it is still hidden, private guarded. They may not reveal the depth of what is going on inside them, but hidden does not mean small. The High Priestess often shows desire growing in silence, where no one else can interrupt it, question it, or cool it down. So this person may be carrying much more than they show, especially in the moments where they go quiet and seem unreadable. The next card appearing here is the Ace of Wands. This is the card of ignition, immediate wanting, the spark that keeps returning with heat behind it. So even when they try to act composed, one thought of you, one memory, one close moment may be enough to wake everything back up in an instant. The Ace of Wands is not subtle. It is the body saying yes before the mind has time to behave. The final card appearing here is the Lovers, and this is what gives the whole reading its depth. Because the attraction is not empty. It is attached to meaning, attached to the bond, attached to the fact that you are not just somebody visually appealing to them. You are someone whose energy has already entered the heart. That is why the desire keeps deepening instead of fading. So the message of this part becomes very clear. They are craving you badly, not only in passing, not only in imagination, in body, in thought. In private longing that keeps returning stronger than they expect. There is one more layer here too. Part of what makes this attraction so difficult to resist is that they may feel like your energy carries both fire and mystery at the same time. You may feel close enough to awaken desire, but distant enough to keep that desire alive. And that combination can be overwhelming. Because when someone cannot fully have what they keep imagining, the wanting often gets sharper, more focused, more constant. That is the energy here. A person whose attraction is not cooling down. A person whose body may respond to your presence before they can hide it. A person whose craving is no longer something they can dismiss with logic. And even if they say little, the card suggests the wanting may already be showing in the way they look, pause, react, or stay just a second too long in your energy. Because attraction this alive rarely stays invisible forever. It finds a way to speak, even before words do, and right now that hidden tension may be moving through them more strongly than ever. Everything gathers here, and the final energy of this reading feels impossible to soften because what began as attraction, as curiosity, as tension, has become something much more consuming inside them now. Not weaker, not calmer, not easier to control. Stronger. The first card appearing here is the Lovers. This card says the pull is not only physical, yes, The body is involved. Yes, the chemistry is strong. Yes, the craving is real. But the lover says there is also emotional recognition underneath it all. This person may feel that your energy fits somewhere deep in them. And that is exactly why the attraction has become so difficult to shake. It is not just desire without meaning, it is desire attached to connection. The next card appearing here is the Devil. And this confirms everything. The wanting is intense, persistent, hard to ignore. This person may think about you more than they should. They may feel your energy in waves. Suddenly, physically, mentally, emotionally, the Devil says they may try to calm themselves, but the attraction keeps returning. It does not politely disappear. It does not fade because they decided it should. It stays. The next card appearing here is the Ace of Wands. This is the spark that keeps reigniting one memory, one look. One thought, one moment of closeness, and everything wakes up again. The Ace of Wands says the sexual pull is immediate in them. Quick, alive, heat that rises before the mind fully catches up. So even if they try to seem composed on the outside, their body may tell a very different story whenever your energy gets near enough to stir them. The next card appearing here is the High Priestess. This says much of what they feel is still hidden, not absent, hidden. They may not reveal the full depth of what is happening inside them. They may act normal, quiet, controlled. But the High Priestess says their private world may be full of you, full of imagination, full of tension, full of unsaid wanting that keeps growing stronger in the dark. The next card appearing here is the Knight of Wands. Now the restlessness becomes even clearer. Because the Knight of Wands does not enjoy staying in fantasy forever. It wants movement contact. A spark that becomes real instead of only imagined. This person may feel sudden urges to reach out, flirt, create a charged moment, or push the connection closer to the edge just to see what happens when the chemistry is allowed to breathe. The next card appearing here is the Moon. This card says their desire may be mixed with nervousness too. They may wonder how much of this pull exists on your side. They may fear how obvious they would become if the moment ever turned truly intimate. They may be excited by the mystery and tormented by it at the same time, because the unknown can make craving even stronger. The final card appearing here is the Sunday, and this is beautiful because it says the attraction is not only dark hunger, there is joy in it too. Warmth, brightness, the kind of pull that makes a person feel more alive, more awake, more present in their own body. So when they think about you, it may not only stir them physically, it may light them up. So the message of this final part becomes very clear. They are craving you badly, not in a careless way, not in a forgettable way, not in a passing mood that fades after a little distance. This is attraction that keeps living in them, attraction that rises through the body, attraction that returns through the imagination. Attraction that grows stronger because the bond itself feels charged, unfinished, and very real. There is one more layer here too. Part of what makes this so hard for them to resist is that your energy may feel like both temptation and truth at once. You are not only someone they find beautiful, you are someone whose presence wakes something up in them that they cannot easily put back to sleep. And once a person experiences that kind of chemistry, ordinary attraction starts feeling thin by comparison. That is why the cards end this way, because the desire is no longer subtle. It is no longer easy for them to manage. It is no longer something they can explain away as simple interest. It has become hunger, focus, heat, pull. And even if they keep trying to hide it, the cards say their body, their attention, and their energy may already be revealing more than their words ever do. Because attraction this strong does not stay invisible forever. It leaks through the eyes, through the pauses, through the charged stillness around your name. And right now, the truth is simple. They want you badly, and resisting that truth is becoming harder with every passing moment. Even now, one thought of you can undo their calm and leave them wanting even more than before. Has become something much more consuming inside them now. Not weaker, not calmer, not easier to control.